Yes, this is a very well-researched diet, and there's plenty of randomized controlled trials, which are high-quality trials, indicating that this is an effective intervention for people with IBS. So FODMAP is an acronym for hard-to-pronounce carbohydrate names, but these are the most fermentable carbohydrates in one's diet. And what has been shown in the literature is that if you remove these highly fermentable foods, you can reduce the symptoms, basically because, again, your microbes don't have as much food to eat, so they've quietened down a little bit. They're having a small party, not a large party. But this is a 3-phased process. So what you tend to do is to try and help somebody reduce the amount of FODMAPs in their diet, so these fermentable carbohydrates, for a short period of time. Mainly in my clinic, I would say 4 weeks is kind of max. Maybe if you want to bring it up to 6 weeks. Thereafter, you have to do a second phase of the diet, where you reintroduce each FODMAP group individually to test the tolerance of these foods and to really accurately identify which ones were your triggers. So for a lot of people, like examples of FODMAPs are wheat, and rye, and then a range of vegetables such as onions and garlic and cauliflower and mushrooms, asparagus, a range of fruits such as apples and pears and stone fruits and watermelon, lactose, which you get from milk, and something called polyols, which are a range of other fruit and vegetables and some sugar-free products. But not everybody is intolerant to all FODMAPs. It's a very individual response. So going through the whole process of restriction, followed by the challenging phase, helps people identify which ones were actually their triggers. And to do that with the support of a healthcare professional who's trained in this area, you are definitely going to get the better outcome from that. But I do meet people in my clinic who've been following a low FODMAP diet for years. But on the other side of that story is that they may have ongoing gut symptoms. So it's very important that you don't keep whittling down your diet with IBS in that restrictive phase without, some support, because it can have negative effects on your gut and your eating behaviors and probably your nutrition status.
Okay, so do not experiment by yourself if you are diagnosed with IBS, right? That's what you're
I think all the studies show that the FODMAP intervention was provided by a dietitian. So they would, to train in FODMAPs, you do at least 5 days full study. So it's a complicated intervention. It's complex. It's difficult to do. It can be painful. It can be restrictive. So it's not suitable for everybody. So your dietitian can decide how much of a restriction that you need so that you will be able to do it successfully. And I find things have progressed over the years, and a modified low FODMAP diet is potentially just as effective as a really restrictive low FODMAP diet. Because if we talk about IBS and the gut-brain axis, we can't just put all our eggs in the food side of things. It's not just about restricting your diet, because that gut-brain axis, what helps with that is actually behavioral interventions such as relaxation, diaphragmatic breathing, mindfulness meditation, yoga. And if you combine the relaxation with the dietary intervention, you tend to get better outcomes. Because don't forget about your gut-brain axis when you're focusing on dietary restrictions. Because if you can't get to the root cause, then maybe you will not have as much tolerance of food as you would if you're de-stressing and working on your gut-brain axis.